Ukrainians are voting in the first parliamentary election since pro-Europe protests forced the ouster of Kremlin-friendly President Viktor Yanukovych in February. But in the aftermath of the unrest that caused hundreds of thousands to flee fighting in the eastern part of the country, many voters are feeling less than optimistic. Displaced Ukrainians who fled violence in the east waited for aid from Red Cross volunteers in Kiev just hours before elections began.
During the last months, the elections happen often in our country, but we can't see any significant and positive changes after it. And in the situation we've been in now, we are getting much more aid from ordinary people than from politicians.
Observers from the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe are monitoring polling stations throughout Ukraine, though elections will not take place in Crimea, which was annexed by Russia in March, nor in unstable regions held by pro-Russian separatists in the east.
There is huge challenges to a society to arrange elections during these circumstances.
At the polls, former boxer Vitaly Klitschko, mayor of Kiev and candidate for parliament, called for Ukrainian people to reset the parliament, as did Prime Minister Arseniy Yatsenyuk.
We strongly believe that the new government, together with the new parliament and the president, will deliver real changes. This is the first tremendous and crucial step to make Ukrainian politics more clear, more transparent, more responsible, and more accountable.
One initial challenge to this new step is the tactics some candidates use to confuse voters. Add people with names similar to your opponent to the ballot to divert votes. If this wasn't enough to puzzle voters, elsewhere a man dressed as the Star Wars character Darth Vader arrived at a Kiev polling station ready to cast his vote. The man, who was also listed as candidate Darth Vader, was turned away when he refused to remove his mask. As he left, he yelled that just because he couldn't vote, quote, "It does not mean that my empire will not win."